Ryan Garcia, I'm clamping you down.
Ryan Garcia is a boxer whose career seems to be filled with more drama than most, and 2024 has proven to be one of the most tumultuous years in his professional life. The series of setbacks he's faced would seem overwhelming to many, but for Garcia, it's just another chapter in his roller coaster journey through the world of boxing. From being banned for testing positive for a banned substance, to announcing his comeback fight only for his promoter to be against it, to dealing with personal family issues and legal claims, Garcia's path has been anything but easy. At the center of this chaos is a burning rivalry with Devin Haney, a fighter who was once seen as the ideal opponent for Garcia's return. Haney, who had been out of action since his dramatic showdown with Garcia back in April of the previous year, made waves when he revealed his schedule for 2024. And the timing couldn't have been worse for Garcia. Fans had expected a rematch between the two men to settle their rivalry once and for all, but Haney's plans were completely different. Haney, who had been out of the ring since his controversial fight with Garcia, has remained determined to continue his boxing career. His fight against Garcia, which was expected to be the pinnacle of their rivalry, ended with a surprise twist. Despite Garcia's remarkable performance in the ring, knocking Haney down 3 times, everything was overshadowed by the news that Garcia had tested positive for ostarine, a banned substance. This revelation turned the fight's outcome upside down, and boxing authorities swiftly ruled about a no contest, which devastated Garcia's victory and cast doubt over his reputation. Garcia was now under intense scrutiny, not just from boxing fans, but from legal authorities as well. Haney, feeling betrayed by the situation, filed a lawsuit against Garcia, accusing him of battery, fraud, and unjust enrichment. Haney made it clear that this wasn't just about settling their score in the ring, it was about proving a point both legally and professionally. However, as Garcia's legal issues and suspension loomed large, fans continued to speculate about a potential rematch between the two. This possibility seemed to fade further away as Garcia's suspension extended into 2025, making a Haney rematch seem unlikely. Haney's long layoff also complicated matters, as he publicly announced he would return to the ring in March 2025. Garcia's suspension wasn't expected to lift until April, preventing any immediate face-off between the two fighters. On top of all this, Garcia suffered a serious wrist injury during training, which forced him to cancel a planned exhibition match with Japanese kickboxer Rukiya Anpo. The fight, originally scheduled for December 30th, 2024, would have been a perfect showcase for Garcia's return to form, but with the wrist injury forcing surgery, Garcia was forced to postpone the event. He made it clear, however, that he wasn't backing down and promised fans that he would return to face Anpo in the future. Garcia's bold words fueled speculation that he was using this fight with Anpo as a stepping stone to recover his confidence and set up future clashes with bigger names like Haney and Gervonta Davis. In the meantime, Anpo had been generating his own buzz, but not necessarily in a positive way. The size difference between him and Garcia became a focal point of discussion after the two faced off in a press conference. Anpo, standing nearly 6 feet tall, towered over Garcia, whose height is 5'8". The press conference was chaotic, with Anpo shoving Garcia and even throwing paper at him. Garcia, momentarily flustered, responded with sharp remarks, claiming he didn't even know who Anpo was, but was eager to teach him a lesson in boxing. The height difference between the two became a topic of conversation, especially after Anpo's exhibition match with boxing legend Manny Pacquiao earlier in the year. Fans watched as Pacquiao, who stands at just 5'5", struggled against the much taller Anpo. The height and reach advantages that Anpo possessed were likely to come into play in his fight against Garcia, but despite the challenges, Garcia seemed unfazed, maintaining his confidence in his abilities. Complicating matters further, Garcia's promoter, Oscar De La Hoya, publicly expressed frustration with the situation. De La Hoya made it clear that he wasn't happy with the way the fight was being handled, claiming that Garcia's team had bypassed him to negotiate directly with the promoters from Rizin, the Japanese fight promotion behind Anpo. De La Hoya threatened to cancel the fight altogether, creating additional uncertainty about whether the highly anticipated exhibition would even take place. The feud between Garcia and De La Hoya was far from new. The two had been at odds for quite some time, with public disagreements and subtle jabs traded on social media. De La Hoya was clearly frustrated that his contractual rights were being overlooked, and he wasn't shy about airing his grievances. Despite all the drama surrounding the fight, De La Hoya made it clear that he wasn't against the exhibition match itself, but rather the failure of Garcia to honor his agreement with Golden Boy Promotions. This added another layer of intrigue to the fight, with fans now wondering whether the contractual dispute would derail the entire event. While Garcia and De La Hoya exchanged harsh words, Anpo remained relatively silent, focusing on his training and preparing for the fight ahead. This quiet approach made him seem more dangerous to some fans, as they believed he was honing his skills without being distracted by the drama swirling around Garcia. The tension between Garcia and De La Hoya, along with the looming uncertainty about the fight, only added to the drama, making the potential showdown between Garcia and Anpo even more unpredictable. Amid all this, Garcia remained steadfast in his resolve, vowing to teach Anpo a lesson in the ring. His focus was squarely on proving his boxing superiority and showing fans that he could overcome the hurdles placed in front of him. Yet, despite his confidence, the uncertainty surrounding the fight loomed large. Would the fight happen? And if so, would Garcia's wrist injury allow him to perform at his best? The Anpo fight was not the only potential bout that had fans buzzing. Garcia had long been speculated as a future opponent for Gervonta Davis, who had defeated him in a dramatic clash earlier in 2023. The Davis-Garcia fight had been one of the most electrifying bouts in recent boxing history, with Davis emerging victorious after delivering a body shot in the 7th round that left Garcia unable to continue. Despite his loss, Garcia showed flashes of brilliance during the fight, and the hunger for a rematch remained strong. However, the timeline for a Davis rematch seemed complicated. Garcia was still serving his suspension after the controversial no-contest ruling in his fight with Haney, which meant a rematch with Davis could be delayed even further. The stakes would be higher in any potential rematch, as both fighters would have a point to prove. However, the uncertainty surrounding Garcia's recovery, combined with the possible negotiations, left fans questioning whether a Davis rematch could realistically happen before Davis's rumored retirement at the end of the year. Another potential opponent for Garcia was Teofimo Lopez, the WBO super lightweight champion. Lopez had expressed interest in facing Garcia, but only under specific terms, including a proper weight class of 147 pounds and strict testing under USADA. Lopez's recent performances had failed to excite fans, but a fight against Garcia would provide him with a chance to reignite his career and secure a defining victory. Negotiating such a fight, however, would not be easy, particularly after the controversy surrounding Garcia's performance against Haney. Despite all these hurdles, Garcia's exhibition match against Anpo remained a pivotal moment for his career. If he could overcome Anpo's size advantage and prove that his skills had not been diminished by his injuries and controversies, it could set the stage for bigger challenges ahead. Whether that meant a rematch with Haney, a fight against Davis, or a showdown with Lopez, Garcia's future in boxing was far from settled. The tension surrounding Garcia's career was palpable, with fans eagerly awaiting news of his next move. Would he overcome the drama and controversy to solidify his place among the sport's elite? Or would his personal and professional challenges derail his ambitions? One thing was certain: when Garcia finally steps back into the ring, the world of boxing will be watching closely, waiting to see what comes next.